All right, hi 333. So this is a lesson for April 28th. In this, we're going to be graphing systems of inequalities. So first, we're just going to remind ourselves, how do we graph inequalities? Or graph systems, all right? So in the first one, we see that the y-intercept is at -2, so you're going to go ahead and graph that there. The slope is -1, so down 1 to the right 1. Keep doing that until you run out of space. Do the opposite the other way. And then just draw in a line. Okay, and then in the other one, the y-intercept is 2. The slope is -5. So we're going to go down 5 and to the right 1. See, that's where they cross, right there, right? And then I go ahead and I just draw in my line. So this is just a refresher. All right, doing the next one, I see the y-intercept is at 2. Slope is 1/2, so up 1 to the right 2. Then go ahead and do the opposite. Draw in your line. Next one, my y-intercept is -3. Slope is -2, so I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1. I've run out of space, so I'm going to do the opposite. I see where they cross. And there we go. Got that other system. All right, so now we're going to learn today, what does that mean in terms of graphing them as inequalities? So if you look at the first one, you notice it's the same numbers as up here. Same as this one. It's just this time, instead of an equal sign, we have less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to graph it. Well, it's actually going to be the same in terms of graphing. So looking at that first one, see how it says less than or equal to, and then it's got that same thing. So we're going to start at -2, go down 1 to the right 1, go ahead and do that. Now, because it's less than or equal to, that means that it's going to be a straight line, not a dotted line. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in as a straight line. Next one, my y-intercept is 2. Down 5 to the right 1. I see that's where they cross, just like that. Okay, now the part that is different is we need to see if we can determine if we're going to shade in just this part over here, this little triangle down here, this part over here, or this part over here. So what we have to do is we have to look at the signs. So the first one, it says that it's less than or equal to. So because this line is going from here to here, and it's less than or equal to, that means we're going to shade the part that's less than, the numbers that are smaller, so the numbers going down. So we're going to shade in either this part or this part. All right, so that's what we're keeping in mind. It's either going to be this part or this part because it's less than, so we're going to go underneath. Now, the other equation, it says that it's greater than or equal to. So this line right here, greater than or equal to, we have to decide, are we going to shade the part that's up above or down below? Well, because it's greater than or equal to, I'm going to shade the part that's up above. So that means that we are going to shade just this little tiny part right here. Just that little part right there. All right. Now, how we're going to do this is we're going to check a point and see if that still works for this situation. All right. So I see that a good point we could choose is 2, -4. Because 2, -4 is right here on that line, and it's right in that little space. So let's plug that in for x and for y into both inequalities. So I'm going to do 4 is less than or equal to -2, sorry, -4 is less than or equal to -2 minus 2, and -4 is greater than or equal to -5 parentheses 2 plus 2. All right. -2 minus 2 is -4, so -4 is less than or equal to -4. Yeah, that's true. -5 times 2 is -10, and then -10 plus 2 is -8. So -4 is greater than or equal to -8. Yeah, that's true. So that worked out. So that means that we shaded the right part. All right, let's try this again over here. We're going to start with that same drawing of these two lines. All right, we're going to go ahead and do them just like that. So this time though, it says that it's greater than, and it doesn't have the, it's not gonna have the dashes because it's not greater than or equal to. So we're gonna start at -2, go down 1 to the right 2, go ahead and keep doing that. Do the opposite. Because it's not greater than or equal to, we're gonna just make this a dashed line or a dotted line. All right, the next one, start at 2, go down 5 to the right 2, or to the right 1, good. And this is a dashed line 2. It goes through there. Okay, notice it's the same shape as this other one, it's just that this time it's dashed. All right, so now it says pick a point. So we would have to pick a point that isn't on one of the lines that is in that section. So first, let's just worry about shading. So because it's greater than, we're gonna shade the parts that are up above this part. So this line right here, it says it's greater than, so we're gonna shade these parts up here. Because this next one says less than, which is this one right here, we're gonna shade the less than, so that means that the overlap happens right up here in this section. All right, let's pick a point. Well, any point that's in this section would totally work. Let's say we picked -2, +2. So we're gonna plug in for X and for Y. 2 is greater than -2 minus 2. And 2 is less than -5 times -2 plus 2. Okay, so that's going to end up being +2, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So 2 is greater than 0. That is true. And this next one over here, we're going to end up with +10 plus 2 is 12. 2 is less than 12. Yep, that's true. So it worked in both cases. Awesome. All right, we're going to practice this a few more times. And then I'm going to send you to just do the rest on your own. This one at the bottom is a common one that shows up on algebra exit exams. So that one is a really important one to make sure that you understand. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do this next one. So it says y is less than or equal to 1/2 x plus 2. So start at +2, up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the left 2, down 1 to the left 2. All right, because it's less than or equal to, it's going to be a solid line. And because it's less than, we're going to be shading the part that's down below. So we would be shading this part down here. All right, next one, we start at -3. Our slope is -2, so down 2 to the right 1. I'm going to do the opposite. Okay, because it's less than and not less than or equal to, it's going to be a dotted line, which means that the points that are on that line are not included in the solution set, right? So any of those points wouldn't work. Okay, and this one says less than also, so then if we're looking at this dotted line, we're not going to be shading this part up above, we're going to be shading this part down below. We're shading this part down below, so that means that the overlap happens over here. So I'm going to go ahead and shade that in. Let's check this by picking a point. Let's say we pick -3, -2. Plug those in for X and for Y. -2 is less than or equal to -1.5 plus 2. And that's going to be -2 is less than or equal to 0.5, which is true. And then for the other one, -2 is less than -2 times -3 minus 3. All right, well, -2 times -3 is 6, so -2 is less than 6 minus 3, and 6 minus 3 is 3. -2 is less than 3, which is true. So, yep, that totally works. All right, I'm going to send you on your way. I will upload the notes.